Most organizations are undertaking some kind of transformation journey, yet few know how to do it, which is why so many turn for help to expensive management consultancies. This opens up an opportunity for those who can learn how to transform more quickly and less expensively. Let's have a look at how you can start transforming your organization by creating a systematic mechanism of learning which is developed by having a bias towards data. First, you set up a spend control and coordination team. This is your beachhead for change, a commando team rapidly assembled and quick to act. This small team controls no budgets. Those belong to the business units or departments. Their only weapons are maps and the right to challenge assumptions. This team will require support, which a senior leader can provide by simply announcing that any project planning to spend more than X needs to be challenged first. The spend control team then asks project leaders 3 simple questions. Who are the users their project is focused on? What do they need? And how will you measure success? You'll be amazed at how many project leaders, even those with big multi-million-dollar projects, can't answer these basic questions. Don't be surprised if the answers are something like, I don't know. Why do we need to know that? And why do you keep asking me stupid questions? That's why your spend control and coordination team need to have a bit of resilience. So what happens if the project leader thinks the spend control team's challenge is a waste of time and refuses to participate? Well, at the end of the day, it is their budget, so they can proceed as they see fit. If all goes well, then great. That's a win for the organization. But if it goes badly, you now have a paper trail showing which project leaders wouldn't or couldn't answer basic questions about their project before they started. This helps you build up data about which project leaders listen, accept challenge and learn, and which don't. Because the key thing to remember is that in a rapidly changing and uncertain world, you will either become a learning organization or be outcompeted by one that is. Therefore, at a certain point there'll need to be a showdown, as the spend control team will be able to show that those who embrace challenge and learn have more success, while those who resist challenge and don't learn are more likely to lead failed projects. At this point, the senior leader can drive home the message that people can't just keep doing stuff without understanding who users are, what those users need, and how success will be measured. You can now push everyone to start accepting and actively engaging in challenge. This creates a beachhead for real change in the organization. Before this showdown, though, your spend control and coordination team will have been busy supporting those project leaders that were open to challenge. They will take the project leaders' answers to the initial 3 questions and use these to quickly map out the project with the project team. This will help the team see how to satisfy user needs better, as well as how to best invest in the project, how to manage it, and even how to staff it. They can share their maps with others to tap into greater collective intelligence inside and around the organization, and find ways to improve things quickly and inexpensively. The spend control and coordination team can also help project teams address issues of bias and duplication, helping them see what they should build, buy, or outsource. This can have a dramatic impact on attracting talent. If you only custom build truly novel components, you can start attracting leading talent that want to work on tomorrow's technology today, rather than reinventing the same old wheel, which, unfortunately, many organizations continue to do. But also, by better utilizing technologies the organization already has, the cost and therefore the risk of new projects falls dramatically. It's not unusual for million-dollar projects to suddenly be deliverable for a fraction of that price, which means more projects can be launched, as teams now have the resources to do more. The spend control and coordination team can also start identifying opportunities for building common services the entire organization needs, which they can even take to market as commercial platforms and, like Amazon and AWS, start turning an organization's costs into revenues. The spend control and coordination team brings a shift in focus towards thinking small. This is in stark contrast to how many business people like to think, especially those who consider themselves strategic thinkers and love to think big. But this attitude can cause problems. For example, here's a big project that's been broken down into smaller projects so each can be managed with the appropriate method. you may recall that this was the 7th principle we discussed earlier. But some project managers resist this. It's too complex, they complain. There are too many contracts to manage. But what they're really saying is, they want to outsource the responsibility for the whole program to someone else, who they can blame if it all goes wrong. And bundling many smaller projects into one huge project is a surefire way of making certain things go wrong. All you're doing is hiding the complexity in a big, often outsourced contract that's more likely to fail, because you're treating very different components the same way. Bundling stable industrialized components, like the ones here on the right of the map, into a single contract with novel uncharted components may give you the illusion of control, but the novel components on the left of the map will be constantly changing, and this will keep delaying the entire project, leading to cost overruns and penalties. People will, of course, argue that we just need to specify better our service level agreements, but this is just wrong, because you can't specify that which is uncertain, and the components on the left of the map are inherently uncertain. The solution, therefore, is to have smaller projects with separate contracts for each. Projects on the left of the map can now be financed with a venture capital approach or paying for time and materials used, which will reduce the cost of inevitable change. Projects in the early product stage can be paid for depending on certain outcomes being reached, as here you are still learning about what is needed. For projects with more established components in the middle of the map, we will simply agree a fixed price contract, as there should be minimal changes to what we need. While for projects on the right of the map, we'd be looking to only pay for what we use and not a penny more. By now, you should notice that your teams are communicating more and learning how to satisfy user needs more effectively. And they're also learning how to invest resources more wisely, which methods work best where, and how to prevent bias and duplication seeping in. And this is what a small spend control and coordination team can bring to even the most unwieldy of organizations. A systematic mechanism of learning as you go. This will help your organization to stop leaping without looking, and thus harming itself. It all, of course, takes a bit of time. Naturally, there are more principles you should adopt if you want to become a high AQ organization, one able to constantly adapt to changes. But even just implementing these principles from phase 1 will provide your organization a significant competitive advantage over your slower-moving rivals. This is the power of maps and managing by principles for modern organizations. So why not start your journey to becoming a highly adaptive organization today?